Hi, it's Miss Sarah. I hope everybody is doing well. I just wanted to share a story with you. And this story is called Rufus Goes to School. It's written by Kim Griswell and illustrated by Valeri Gorbachev. If I tell you the story is called Rufus Goes to School and you look at the front cover of the story, what do you think it might be about? Good job. Let's see if your predictions were correct. Right here's the title page, and again it says Rufus Goes to School. Every day, Rufus Leroy Williams III turned the pages of his favorite book. He looked at every picture, and he made up stories to go with them, but he could not read the words. Rufus knew just what he had to do. He would go to school and learn to read, but first he needed a backpack. Early the next morning, Rufus scuttled down the street to school. He peeked through the front door. What do you think this sign right here might say, if he's peeking through the front door of the school? It says school. Good job. Then he trotted down the hall to the principal's office, like Mr. Bond, and he was greeted by the principal's secretary, like Mrs. Young. Principal Lipid's secretary knocked on his door. "There's a pig here to see you," she said. Rufus stepped forward. "My name is Rufus Leroy Williams III, he said. "I have a backpack and I'm ready for school." The principal shook his head. "No pigs in school." "Why not?" asked Rufus. "Because pigs track mud in the hall," said Principal Lipid. "They turn their drawings into paper airplanes. They play leapfrog in class. And they start food fights in the cafeteria." Rufus frowned. "But I have a backpack." "Makes no difference," said Principal Lipid, and he showed Rufus to the door. Rufus Leroy Williams III really wanted to go to school, and he knew just what he needed: a lunchbox. Right before lunchtime, the secretary poked her head into Principal Lipid's office. "The pig is back," she whispered. "My name is Rufus Leroy Williams III, he said, "and I have a backpack and a lunchbox, and I'm ready for school." The principal folded his arms. "No pigs in school." "Why not?" asked Rufus. "Because pigs knock over the block tower," said Principal Lipid. "And they hide under the teacher's desk. And pigs draw stick figures on the chalkboard," he waggled his finger at Rufus. "And they chase their classmates during recess." "But I have a backpack and a lunchbox," said Rufus. "Makes no difference," said Principal Lipid, and he waved Rufus out the door. Rufus Leroy Williams III really wanted to go to school, and he knew just what he needed: a blanket. During nap time, the secretary opened Principal Lipid's door. "Sir." Rufus Leroy Williams III rushed past her. "I have a backpack, a lunchbox, and a blanket, and now I am really ready for school," he said. The principal sighed. "I told you, no pigs." "Wait," said Rufus. "I will never blow bubbles in my milk or finger paint my classmates. I will not stand on my head during nap time or leave nose prints in the windows, and I will come to school every single day." "Sorry," the principal shook his head. "No pigs in school." "But I have a backpack, a lunchbox, and a blanket," said Rufus. Is that all? Asked the principal. Rufus frowned. What else could he need for school? I have this. Rufus held up his favorite book, and I want to learn to read it. Ah, Principal Lippett smiled. That makes a difference. He escorted Rufus out of his office and down the hall. This is Rufus Leroy Williams III, Principal Lippett announced as they entered a classroom, and he will be joining your class. Hooray! Shouted the boys and girls. Rufus Leroy Williams III put away his backpack, his lunchbox, and his blanket, and his favorite book, and he was ready for school. Rufus loved learning the ABCs, especially the letter P. Pig begins with the letter P, pig. He loved learning the 1, 2, 3s. He loved lunchtime and nap time. Sorry. But Rufus loved story time most of all. Kind of looks like our classrooms. Because it gave him room to dream. What is he dreaming about being? Pirate, huh? The end. Thank you for sharing this story with me. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.